Sunflower Poetry YouTube channel, poem number 2, titled A Carnation and a Number. I want to put a disclaimer on this video because this poem is very dark and very serious. It is about sex trafficking, and it is heartbreaking in a sense. I do not think in any way, shape, or form that it's inappropriate. I believe just the fact that it is so real may have a negative effect on some people. So, if that's you, don't read it or listen to this video, but if not, please tune in as I read to you A Carnation and a Number. She should be swinging at the park, jumping in the leaves. Instead, tears are streaming down her face as she hugs her knees. She should be in a classroom, saying ABCs and counting 1, 2, 3. Instead, she's pleading for her life, saying, "Let me go home, please." Streaks of blue and red cascade the streets this solemn night. Cops comb every inch of the little town. That girl nowhere in sight. She should be having sweet dreams while sleeping in her own bed. Instead, she's in a cold basement, and not once has she been fed. She should be held tight by her mom and protected by her dad. Instead, she's been kidnapped by a man for something very bad. Adjusting to the darkness which now completely engulfs her, there's a quiet noise to her left and her right, a whimper and a whisper. 7 pairs of eyes meet hers as the shadow unfurls. Including her, the bad man has taken 8 innocent little girls. She should be playing with her friends in the house in the backyard tree. Instead, she's covered in dust and grime, and her hair is knotted and messy. The descent of boots loud on the stairs and creak of the basement door. The bad man and his friends send fear, chill, to her very core. Soon their wrists and their ankles have been chained and they're forced into a line. The young girl comforts the youngest of the 8, saying, We're gonna be fine." She should be sitting and praying at church in the frontmost pew. Instead, she's lost and in big trouble of which she has no clue. Each girl is undressed and redressed by scary and strange men. A quick prayer quietly escapes her lips, and then she says, "Amen." Now all 8 of them are clean and fit for their presentation, and behind each girl's ear is placed a fresh carnation. Now each girl has a number and is addressed as such, while the big men with fat wallets and sick minds are longing for a touch. These rich men will pay thousands for innocent little girls so fair. Simply tiny trophies to be used and abused and then tossed aside without care. The last little girl who's been reduced to a number, 8, is forced to climb up the platform steps and wait. As the bidding begins, she sets her jaw and holds her head high, determined never to give up and have a chance to live her life. A shout echoes throughout the room saying, "Sold for $250,000. Tension now smothers her, and despite the heat, her heart is still in. Her jaw drops open. She can't breathe, and she slumps to the ground. The last glimmer of hope died when she knew she'd never be found. She should be turning 10 in August, the birthday that was gonna be swell. Instead, she is lying underground, buried before last year's snow fell. They found her body in a muddy field, covered in a ghostly white sheet, pale as porcelain with broken feet, someone else's skin beneath her nails, branded with bruises and poorly healed scars. Her lifeless form seemed frail. Dressed in a weathered red slip, tattered and torn. 'Tis such a shame to lose such innocence, with skin no longer warm. The detective who discovered her knew that she'd been kidnapped by a ring. Now for the lost innocence of this little girl, only the angels sing.